Hi, my name is Connor Cobb, and I chose to write my paper about the Florentine Codex. Two of the main reasons I chose the Florentine Codex is because when reading about history, I always loved wars, and for some reason, this kind of reminded me of war and like going to another country and taking over somebody's land, or just going to another country and fighting. That always reminded me of wars, and that's something that's always really interested me when learning about history, and always like grabbed my attention. So that was the first reason I chose this. The second reason would be because I've always been a fan of art, and I remember being in art class and learning about the Aztecs and learning about how they made their sculptures, their paint, what their drawings were about, and why they made them. And that's always something that really interested me. And growing up, I even took art lessons, and that that's that's really the main reason that I chose to write my paper about this. But essentially, the Florentine Codex is about when the Spanish and this one guy named Cortez, or his last name is Cortez. I'm not going to try to pronounce his first name, but his last name is Cortez. They go over to Mexico and essentially just take over the Aztecs, take over their land, make them practice religions they don't believe in, force them to work hard hours, pretty much make them slaves. And it just tells about this time when they went over there and pretty much ruined their lives. But the main chapter that tells about all this is chapter 12 or book 12. And it really describes the psychological effects that Cortez and his men had on these people. And it tells about what they went through and how life was before that, and the way they farmed and what they did believe, and their medicine practices, and just stuff like that. It also gave us a more in-depth view on why they did this. And the reason he did this is because he saw this land and was sending gifts, and they were not responding back. So in retaliation, he came over and took over their land in retaliation for them not responding back. And that's just something that was really interesting to me. And that helps historians better understand why he did this, and what would be the reason to force these people to go through such horrible things and such terrible psychological effects. But then I chose to write my visual over a man farming. Farming's always been. I grew up on a farm, and it's something that has always kind of interested me, and I figured that'd be something I write my paper about, or draw my visual about, since it's something I could relate to. And that's why I chose farming as a man farming as my visual.